Trying to launch an LLC in Oklahoma City? Well, you probably want to get it done fast, affordably, and most of all done right. But here's the truth. Making just one simple mistake could leave your business exposed or cost you big time. So stick around and I'll walk you through the exact steps to avoid every common pitfall. And most new owners, they slip up one early detail, but more on that here in a bit. First, let's examine if Oklahoma City is a good place to open an LLC in the first place. If you want your money to go further, Oklahoma City really delivers. The average rent for a 2-bedroom apartment in Oklahoma City is about half that compared to the rest of the national average. And utilities like electricity, they come in way under the US average as well. So whether you're renting your first office or budgeting at home, those savings really add up fast. Plus, Oklahoma City's economy is booming. Energy and healthcare, they mean job growth and really fresh opportunities for entrepreneurs. But before you get into that, you have to think about your LLC name. And that's where we're headed here next. And you'll want to know the rules and one sneaky pitfall that most people miss. But before we jump in too deep here, here's one thing to keep in mind. So starting your business, it should be exciting, not overwhelming. But forming an LLC on your own, that can get confusing fast with all the legal forms, rules, and easy to miss details. Now, I will walk you through everything in this video, but if any part of this feels too confusing, I've got a favorite LLC formation service that makes the whole process super simple and stress-free. It's guided, beginner-friendly, and it only costs $39. So if you hit any bumps along the way, go ahead and click right up here to get step-by-step help setting up your LLC the easy way. All right, so let's get back to naming your LLC here. So picking your business name, it might sound simple, but Oklahoma's got its own set of rules that you need to follow. Your name has to be unique, not just in your neighborhood, but across all Oklahoma businesses. So before getting too attached to anything, make sure that you go to the Oklahoma Secretary of State's business entity search tool and check that no one else has claimed it yet. And just so you know, that is linked to below, along with every other resource that we mentioned in this video. And here's a big one too. You must include limited liability company, LLC, or LLC in your name. That's state law. And certain words like bank or university, those are off limits unless you have the right license as well. Now, if you're worried that someone might snatch your name while you're still working on all the other paperwork, you can actually reserve it for 60 days for just $10. But honestly, most people, they skip this and just file right away to cut the extra step. Now, next here, let's talk about picking a registered agent, which is actually a much bigger decision than most people realize. Okay, so once you have locked down your LLC name, the next step here is the registered agent, which honestly, that is where a lot of new owners, they mess up and they don't realize that they've messed up until they get a flood of spam mail or miss something huge from the state. Now, by law, every LLC in Oklahoma, you need to have a registered agent with a physical address, no PO boxes, in the state. They have to be available during business hours to accept legal documents and official notices as well. Now, sure, you can be your own registered agent technically, but that means that your personal address goes on public record and you're tied to your desk during the workday. And forget to update your info or miss an important letter, well, your whole business, it could fall out of compliance, which is a huge problem. Now, that's why so many LLC owners, they prefer a professional registered agent service. Now, personally, my preferred provider is Northwest Registered Agent, because I've used them myself, and they're really known for their strong privacy protections, excellent customer support, and straightforward pricing. Now, if you hire them to help form your LLC, the cost is only $39, which is lower than a lot of competitors. And get this, you can use their business address on your public filings, which keeps your own business address private and cuts down on spam mail too. Now, if you want to check them out, you can go ahead and click right up here at any time to learn more. But next up, we're filing the actual paperwork to make your Oklahoma City LLC official, which is a process that's pretty painless when you know what details the state really needs. So your articles of organization is basically your LLC's birth certificate, right? You can file online, by mail, or in person. And you'll need to provide details like your LLC's name, your principal office address, registered agent info, and whether your business will be run by members or managers. It's a pretty straightforward form, but double check everything for accuracy because errors can really slow things down. Now, the state filing fee here is $100 for mail-in or in-person filings, or $104 if you submit online due to, processing charges with a credit card. Most online filings, though, they get processed within 2 business days, while mail can take about a week. Now, once the Secretary of State actually approves your paperwork, your LLC is officially recognized and you're ready to open a business account, get an EIN, and move on to the next step. Speaking of the next step here, let's jump into drafting an operating agreement first, even though it's technically not required, but it can save your LLC from major headaches later. Okay, now, even though an operating agreement is not legally required, having one is just smart business. It helps, sort out ownership, rules, how profits get divided, And what happens if things go sideways? For solo owners, it proves that your LLC is separate from your personal finances, which protects you if your company ever faces legal trouble. And the good news is that you don't have to pay a lawyer. You can create an operating agreement using free online templates, which are all over the place, or even using an AI platform that really walks you through each section too. Just fill in the blanks, print it out, and keep a signed copy with your business records. Banks and lenders, they often will ask for it before opening an account, so keep that in mind. Okay, so next here, let's tackle getting your LLC's EIN, which is a step that's quick, free, and often skipped by new owners, and not even on purpose. So an EIN, which is your employer identification number, is basically your business's social security number, and you'll want it even if you're running a single member LLC. You'll need an EIN to handle taxes, hire employees, open a business bank account, and apply for business licenses. The best part is that it's absolutely free, and you can get it in about 15 minutes using the IRS's online application. And there's no need to pay any third-party services for this. Just make sure that your LLC is officially approved before applying so your EIN matches your entity details. And once you have that 9-digit number, you're ready to start banking and doing business like a pro. Okay, so now you get the paperwork mostly figured out, but we have to talk about compliance, annual filings, and local licenses to make sure that your LLC stays safe and legal. So once your LLC is set up, staying compliant is key to avoiding problems. Now in Oklahoma, LLCs have to file an annual certificate each year with the Secretary of State due on your LLC's anniversary date. Now, this form updates the state on your LLC's status and costs $25 per year. Filing can be done online in just a couple of minutes or by mail if you prefer. Now, if you miss the deadline for this and don't file within 60 days from then, your LLC can lose its good standing status, which can affect your ability to operate or get financing. Now, beyond annual filings, many businesses in Oklahoma City, they need to get local licenses or permits depending on their industry or location, like health permits, professional licenses, or sales tax permits if you sell goods. And the truth is the rules really do vary a lot from city to city. So just make sure to check with the Oklahoma City government website or local offices to make sure you cover all your bases. Okay, so next here, let's go ahead and break down all the startup and ongoing costs so you know exactly what to expect when launching your Oklahoma City LLC and maintaining it year after year. Okay, so first we'll start with the startup cost for the first year. So your articles of organization, the filing fee there, required $100 if filed by mail or $104 online, right? Next is a registered agent. Now this is required, but if you use a service, you can use Northwest Registered Agent. They only cost $39 for the first year. They'll actually help you set up your LLC formation, like what we're doing here, and give you a full year of registered agent service for free as well. Also, the name reservation, again, that's optional, but that's $10 for a 60-day hold if you want to reserve your business name before actually filing. And next, we have the business licenses and permits. Now, this is required for many businesses, but not all of them. Again, it depends on what you're doing. But the cost here, generally speaking, you're looking at probably between $50 to around $350 per year. Again, depending very heavily on what your business does. So the estimated total startup cost, most Oklahoma City LLC owners, they typically spend right around $125 to $400 for the first year. Now, ongoing annual expenses. So your annual certificate, which is required $25 per year, depending on your LLC anniversary. Then the registered agent renewal service. Again, if you're using Northwest Registered Agent, there it is $125 per year to stay in compliance. From there, we have the business license renewals. Now, again, this varies by plan. Again, maybe $50 to $350 per license. It just depends on what you're doing. But the estimated annual costs, you expect it probably around $75 to about $375 per year. And that mostly is going to be dependent on your permits and licenses. Now, again, to help you with all this, I do advise you to use a service like Northwest Registered Agent, which again, you can click right up here, is they'll help you stay in compliance year after year while you focus on the most important thing, which is running a profitable business. Now, if you have any questions for me or you're a little bit confused about the process, no problem at all. Just drop me a comment below and I'll do my absolute best to help you out as soon as possible. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.